Hey you guys, so this is gonna be a little bit of a messy project. So I'm gonna be showing you how I prepare my glittered styrofoam ball, the ones that I frequently use to add extra special touch to my paper flowers. So basically, one of the looks will gonna look like this one. As you can see, hold on, I have to figure out why I cannot see the live. Oh, okay, here we go. So now I can see it, and I can read some comments too through my iPad. So as I said, basically it's gonna look like this center. So there are different ways on how you can utilize or how you can make the glittery styrofoam ball to make your paper flowers extra special. But to begin with, it's gonna be something a little bit messy like this. So I have my styrofoam ball that I got from Amazon. I'm gonna put the link down below. And as you can see, I have lots of stash also here in various sizes. So you can go as small as 1 inch here or something larger. Basically, I use this one for a small size flower around like 8 inches. So I have the 2 inches ball here that I frequently use basically for the mediums or even going to the large. But to have the larger flowers, like around 21 inches flower, this is the size. Approximately, this is like 2.75 to 3 inches ball. And to make it extra special, I have this 4 inches styrofoam ball. So basically, I don't normally just cover it with glitters. I use this one to, I covered it with hydrangea petals, and that's what I'm using to put a center on some of my extra special flowers. So basically, your basic thing that you need for this project is your styrofoam ball in various sizes. So for now, let's focus on I have an upcoming project and I'm gonna be needing some of this. So let's have all these little ones that I'm gonna be work on into, to start with, so that you can really see how I prepare my stuff. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot it in the chat box, and I'll try my best to see if I can answer it. If I can still, my iPad is just here at the side. So let's see, let's work this one together. So this is my first time. This is gonna be your first time also with doing live with me on this kind of state, because the last time that we did live, I used my desktop, which is a little bit user friendly, because I can see directly on the screen your messages. However, I'm using my phone right now so that I can show you very well how I do my process. At the same time, I cannot see the messages that you guys are shooting. So let's see. Oh, okay, so there's something from Margarita. Hi, where did you buy that large bag of styrofoam? So again, Amazon is my BFF when it comes to purchasing my stuff. So I'm gonna link where I put this. I get this one. So basically, this has 28 pieces, 2 inches styrofoam. And I believe it's I think it's 6.99 or 7.99. But this is way much cheaper when you go to Michael's or when you go to Joann's. Because in Michael's or in Joann's for these sizes, around 6.99 for 6 pieces. No way for that. Like all your profit is gone just with your styrofoam balls. So like sourcing your product basically is one of the things, unnecessary things that you really need to consider if you really wanted to dive and be serious with a paper flower business. So just hang in tight. I'll try to share whatever things I can share with you so that you can grow your business with paper flowers, and also most importantly you can get the sources and you can get the materials in a more affordable way. And if you have any suggestions also, where we can get some stuff that I'm using here in a much reasonable price than what I am showing, I would be very happy. And I'm sure lots of the babes that are watching with us here are gonna be very much appreciative when you are going to share where did you get those stuff. So again, first thing that you need to have is your styrofoam ball. It depends on the size. So before you are going to make a project, or before you are going to commit to a project, visualize what are the flowers that you are going to use. So that's one thing that I really encourage to do. So first thing, planning. I am not the most person that would really say this, but planning helps me very much when it comes to getting the job done. So writing all the flowers that you possibly would make or use. So it's not gonna be perfect, that's fine. So but at least the larger ones, you already figure it out, how many paper flower template number 21 I'm gonna be using. It's gonna be 20 pieces of petal, 21 medium size. So I'm gonna be making like around 14 of this styrofoam because we're gonna cut this one in half. So, or 10. So, the numbers will be easily figure out once you have the planning done prior to the actual execution of the entire project. So here we go. We have the 2 inches that we're gonna be using, and also we have the 1 inch ball that we will use. Again, I'm using this one for mostly for the smaller flowers, like the smallest sizes, the 8 inches one, and this one mostly for the medium to large. So I have of course, what's a glittery ball without glitters, right? So we're gonna need these glitters. I would suggest to use the fine one. So there are glitters that are a bit larger in course. It's okay if you are going to use the larger styrofoam also, but if you are making with, especially with a smaller one, I would suggest to stick it with the fine ones. So there are different tones of gold that we have here. So we have the, I think they call this one the ore gold, like an old rustic gold. So like for example, if your theme for your wedding is vintage, I would suggest to stick on this tone. But if your mission is just to pop up some gold glitters, gold that would really be seen easily, this one is more sparkly and more yellowy. So it depends on the kind of tone that you wanted to achieve. So I also have here a piece of aluminum foil. So we're gonna use this one to have our glitters in. So I have another stick of this one is very old. I think I have this one for 2 years. We got this one from one of my husband's package, so we just keep this. And for some people it might be hoarding, but really you can use things and reuse things. If you're like, especially when you grow up from a third world country, you would really learn to reuse things, in your advantage. So we're gonna use this one. I'm gonna show you how. So I got this one for more than 2 years, And we have the toothpicks here. We'll need it too. And my ever favorite white glue. I use Elmer's glue. And one of the best thing that I've ever discovered on Amazon is this hot wire foam factory cutter. So before, I mean, talking about glitters, it's messy already. So, you know, adding the mess of cutting the foam with a corrugated knife or even just a normal knife, it's really messy. If you guys have tried it, I know you would understand what I'm talking about. And the worst thing is that the material is so lightweight, even lighter than the glitter, I think, that even if you are trying to sweep it and trying to, you know, clean it up, it's like chasing ghosts. So this foam cutter is really a saver for me. So it's kind of a little bit expensive. I believe this was $32. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna put the link again of this particular brand that I'm using. I had this one for 2 years. The wire has never been broken. I haven't replaced it yet. So I can definitely recommend. I'm not gonna put anything on the link below that I don't personally use. So these things are personally tested, personally used by me. So you can trust that, you know, it's quality, yes, but then again, the end result will still, you know, up to you on how you are going to execute the project. So another question from Margarita, definitely cheaper than Michael's. Thank you. Thank you so much, our Margarita. Thank you so much for being in our live. So first thing that we need to do is to, again, this is not like a one size fits all kind of thing. If this method is not what really works best for you, you know, you can absolutely do the things that you prefer or something that would work better on your end. So this is how I do mine. I feel like this is easier because I don't like to clean like containers afterwards. So after I do this messy episode here, I'll just throw this aluminum foil and I'm done. So there's nothing that I would really rather want to do than throw this one out after all the mess here. So what I'm going to do right now is to mix this both. So I want it to have an old tone of gold at the same time, like a more sparkly yellow gold. So I'm gonna mix some of these glitters. See the color difference? I don't know if you guys can, if you guys would notice, but there's a tone difference of the two. So that's what I'm talking about. Like there's a tone that is more yellowish and the other one is more of rusty type. So be sure to communicate well with your client. You know, if like for example they really wanted some touch of golds on their flowers, be upfront and be well communicative to your client which tone of gold they really want. Because mostly when you are talking about elegant weddings, they would prefer the less yellowish one, the more rusty gold, definitely. So now that we have our glitters in our aluminum pan, so time for us to work on our styrofoam. So first thing that you have to do is cut it in half. So I already plugged this one in. All I have to do is just to switch it on. It doesn't really take very long and it's okay. Sometimes there are some residue of the styrofoam ball, and that's what it's smoking a little bit. I would suggest that you guys should wear a mask when doing this, because there's like some unpleasant smell, plastic smell out from the previous cut that I made. So once like 30 seconds after you turn it on, you can then now start to cut your styrofoam ball in half. So the good thing about this one too is you can use this to cut even the larger styrofoam balls up to 8 inches. So see the cut that it made? There's no mess around. Like when you are trying to cut it with knife or even a cutter, it wouldn't give you this clean result. So again, I encourage you, while we are still doing the live, if you have any question, especially with regards to this matter for the paper flower centers that I'm using, you're welcome to shoot it out, and I'll try my hardest to answer it as honest and as quick as possible and as clear as I can. So basically, in one styrofoam ball, you'll be able to make 2 glittered centers. So it's really not that, especially when you get it from the Amazon, it's really not that expensive compared to buying it from Michael's and Joann's. But you know, again, if you also have a coupon in Joann or Michael's, maybe you'll have a better deal too. So, you know, again, try and test whichever marketplace or area you would really be able to find a cheaper materials. Because again, in business, especially in paper flower business, your materials is basically like 80% that would dictate to your what's gonna be your profit margin. So be aware and be wise when selecting places to source your materials. So I'm gonna need more of this, but I'm not gonna bore you with, you know, the way how I cut all the other styrofoam. I just really wanted to show you the quick process that I have here on how I make this styrofoam ball. And also one thing that I want you to remember, if you are planning to use a styrofoam ball with glitters on it, make sure that you do this like 2 or 3 days before you use it, because there's gonna be a curing period. Yes, you can use this with you can use this one like after a few hours, but I strongly suggest that give it like 2 or 3 days curing period, that everything will be totally dry before using it. So first thing that you need to do is just use your toothpick, and we'll only cover this top surface. So try to cover it as light, but as light and as covered all the way to the top of your styrofoam, because you don't want it too full of glue, because one thing, it would affect the curing period. The thicker your glue is, the more time it would require to dry it up. And plus, you know, you really don't want to have one spot with like bulky of glue in it, because it does mean it would suck a lot of your glitters. And one thing to really make sure that you are gonna have your glitter go over a long number of styrofoam balls, you have to really be wise on putting your glue in your styrofoam. So just try to shake it a little bit, making it sure that the extra or excess glitters are covered. So like for example, this one, it's not fully covered. I mean, no big deal, but if you really want it to be perfect for your own peace of mind, just dab it a little bit, you know, because sometimes our worst enemy is ourselves. So if that's something that you cannot really sleep at night because you have that spot that's uncovered, no big deal, just dip it. So after you done this is what this big bulk of styrofoam is for. So what will happen, we're gonna stick the other end of our toothpick there, and we will let it dry. It's gonna be air dry, you know, for like 2 or 3 days. So it depends, you know, the longer that you will prepare this, or the longer number of days that you prepare this prior to using this, it's really more, you know, important, or it will really help you a lot. Plus, I had a situation before. One of my client, we had a wedding in one of the Ford Museum here in Michigan. Although they really love, because they are doing the like the 20s kind of theme, so like the Great Gatsby theme. So basically it's like black, white, and gold. The thing is, we are in the museum, so not just the mother, but also the event manager is kind of freak out that, you know, we are going to have glitters on our flowers, because they're worried that some glittered particles will go to the vintage cars that are spread throughout the museum. So we did a solution for that. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. There's like a spray glue. It's like a clear glue that you can use. So you just, after you do this, you'll just bring this one outside and just spray paint that glue. So this one, I cannot guarantee that there is no mess when you use this afterwards, even after 3 days. But when you use that clear spray glue, I would also put the link down below, it would minimize the drops of glitters or the contact of glitters that you will have. So I would suggest, if you have a very meticulous client that they don't want, you know, glitters on all over the place, you can use that. But if they're okay, no really big deal, you know. And normally, you know, for over 3 years in business, that's the only time that I use that clear glue, because they're very freaked out to know that we use glitters on our flowers. So now the next question is, so yes, we have our glitter ball. Now what? So I'll show you also a little trick, very simple trick, on how you are going to assemble a glitter ball with, if you are using Cricut, this is the dandelion template. So this is all you need. So basically I'm using an 8.5 by 11, and I believe the width of this one is 7 inches by 10.75. So this is fully cured. I had this one for like months ago, so this is really okay to use. So this is just for demonstration purposes. It's all up to you. You can combine like a shorter version of this dandelion, or there are some different floppy center components that I have in my Etsy, so you can use that. So first thing that you gotta do, so this is the simplest trick that you can use this floppy center. So one of the things that the trick that I teach on, especially making floppy center using this template, is count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your 5 lane. So you have to glue it in a slanting way. So the edge is not, glued together, but you are doing a slanting position. So this way. Hi, Annette. Good that you have all the materials. Maria Lopez, hi. Thank you for being with our live streaming. So this is how it looks like now. So one of the very basic thing that I want to do is just to wrap this one around your styrofoam ball. See? So doing this would really elevate the caliber of your paper flowers. Your petals might be ordinary or common to most, but having this kind of center would really give it an extraordinary appeal. So here's one thing that I want you to remember. So like for example, I can wrap this one all the way here, but the problem is it's not gonna be balanced. So what I do is that, see this part here where the other tip is? So we're gonna locate a portion of this area here where this one would meet. So basically this is our end here. So I'm gonna remove this and again remove the other side. So all you gotta do is just wrap this one around. So here you go. So once you have that, all you gotta do is fan this one out. So this is the easiest way on how you're going to utilize your glittered ball with a floppy center. So there are varieties of ways. If you are going over all my videos in my YouTube, you can see different ways on how you can use the glitter balls, so with different floppy center components. So I would recommend that you guys would check that out. So if you have any question, we're almost done here. So I think we're good. So by the way, I would recommend when you are using this kind of floppy center, be sure that you have enough space in the center of your flower. Don't use this kind of floppy center when you only have this much space. So with that, I would suggest that just do a fringe cut and then just roll it over and then put it on the center. But do not make an elaborate kind of floppy center unless you have a wider and much bigger space. So I hope this video helped you guys, in upgrading your giant paper flower business or project. So I will catch you guys next time. And thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much. How can I end this?